Well, I think, Peter, that there are certain people that haven't had the education about the market that tend to panic and make the wrong decision, getting too conservative at the wrong time, getting too aggressive at the wrong time.
Well, it is about time in the market, not timing the market. And where we saw some quick movement and losses, we've also seen some quick rebounds. How do you navigate those kind of moves, as well as avoid some of the other mistakes and pitfalls of investing? We'll talk about it today on Financial Focus with John Kuykendall. Now, John is founder and CEO of GulfCoast Financial Services. Gulf Coast has been named Best of the Best in Financial Services 10 straight years and running by the readers of the Lake City Reporter. And why? Because they provide the information on how to avoid, spot, identify, and avoid some of the common investing mistakes, which we certainly appreciate. John, welcome back to Financial Focus. Good to have you.
Thank you, Peter. It's great to be here. I tell you what, with this market doing what it's doing, it's a great time to discuss this and talk about it.
Yeah, well, you've got the knowledge there, certainly at Gulf Coast Financial Services. John, you've been in this industry from one vantage point to the other, from banking to investing to retirement planning for decades. This is not your first rodeo, nor downturn or volatility in the market. However, I bet every time that comes, you see people making investing mistakes as a reaction to it.
Oh yeah, Peter. I mean, we over the years, I've been doing this now for 53 years, and so I've seen it. I've seen 87. I've seen the high inflation and the hyperinflation and the high prime in the 80s. I've seen home loans at 18, 19%. I've seen home loans at 2 and 3. So it's been a vicious cycle over the years, and every time we have this, people end up panicking because usually they do what most Americans do. They get greedy and they start forgetting about why they're investing and how they're investing, Peter, and they start trying to play the market.
Do they forget even though they've been through it before? Like, do the people who panic, is it their first time seeing market volatility, or does the same person end up panicking over and over and over as we go through these market cycles, or maybe because their life circumstances, age, time horizon, things like that have changed, it might feel different this time?
Well, I think, Peter, that there are certain people that haven't had the education about the market that tend to panic and make the wrong decision, getting too conservative at the wrong time, getting too aggressive at the wrong time. And then you've got the individual who's retiring or is retired, and now all of a sudden they realize that they're living on their own paycheck. They're paying for their retirement. There's nobody else there. And so then they tend to get over aggressive because they're afraid they're going to run out of money.
Well, mistake number one, believing that investing is a smooth ride. It is anything but, John.
Well, that's right, Peter. I mean, if the market went straight up, there wouldn't be any need for us.
There wouldn't be any need for anything else.
No, you just invest and leave it alone and watch it grow. And it does go up, Peter, but it's like an EKG in the meantime. If you take a longer approach, the market has a very nice graph. But if you look at it in periods of 6 months, 8 months, a year, it looks like an EKG on steroids because it's going crazy. And we have to have that in order to really get the gains that we have over time. The market cannot be stable. It can't be a smooth ride. There's no way that's ever going to happen, Peter.
And John, another chart that we have here, we're looking at, we'll put it up on the screen, make it available. If you'd like it, just call Gulf Coast Financial Services, ladies and gentlemen, 386-755-9018. However, you missed just the 5 best days and you're out about 260,000 or so. 435,000 is your total. And if you miss the 10 best days, 319,000. Those best days, John, can't be missed. But again, they often happen right after some of the worst days. And that's when people get emotional and reactionary and hop their way out of the market because they're scared of downturns.
Mhm.
Understandable. But that is why you need a plan with a disciplined, long-term approach perspective.
That's right, Peter. And the plan, it takes into consideration not only the what when we're in the market, but it takes into consideration the sectors. Because as you know, I can't invest in the same sector and stay in it. I've got to be able to move into different sectors. And if I'm heavily, back in 2000, if we were heavily tech, we lost a lot of money. But if we were diversified, having international tech, large cap, all the different categories, then we were able to stabilize. But we need to be invested, we need to have a plan, and we need to follow that plan. And just because the market goes up and down, we shouldn't try to time it or try to get out of it. And I think that's risk number three, or mistake number three, risk and asset allocation. What's good today is not going to be good tomorrow.
Hmm.
And so the number one fund for this year is not going to be the number one fund for next year. And one of the problems that we need to decide is when we're looking at our asset allocation, you can have 50 different mutual funds, but you can still end up with 80% tech if you're not careful because those mutual funds are all investing in the same thing.
Concentration.
Yes.
Yeah. Concentration risk was the big thing of the tech bubble. And then as we saw those magnificent seven companies rise from really 2021 through 2022, they were the same ones that were over concentrated and led to the losses in 2022. So that what goes around comes around again, cyclical. Another mistake, John, on your list and report, when we talk about what are your goals for your money, everybody says, I want my money to grow. But focusing more on returns than on managing risk can be an oversight, a pitfall, a mistake.
Well, yeah, Peter. I mean, you know how volatile the market's been recently. And, I just had a client come in and tell me that he wasn't making enough money. He wants to be more risky. Well, I mean, nobody's made money recently. I mean, the market's finally coming back, but we've had a severe, downturn and then it's come back. And depending upon which way the tariffs went, we really weren't sure which way the market was going.
Can't predict the future.
No, and it wasn't a real time to get over aggressive for somebody that's 80 years old and retired. I mean, they're not going to be able to make it up the losses, but it's that greed factor that we have that makes us want to make more money because, my neighbor's making more,
Mm,
but they probably had more to start with, Peter.
yep. That FOMO factor kicks in. That's another piece of psychology there, right? But John, growth on our money, creating as much income with as little taxes as possible. Those are the goals that are fairly universal. However, difficult to accomplish all of those, and that's why the assistance of a experienced, qualified professional advisor makes so much sense, ladies and gentlemen, helping you understand the big picture with long-term personalized views, understanding the risks that you will face in retirement. You've not done it before. Others have. Learn from that experience, access to the entire universe of the financial world, all of the asset classes in the spectrum, ongoing coaching for tax efficiency and long-term financial confidence. That comes with planning and the relationship with an advisor. John, that's why you offer that financially focused written retirement plan there at Gulf Coast Financial Services.
That's right, Peter. It's based upon income. What we want to do in retirement and getting ready for retirement is focus on the amount of income we need to handle our needs and then have a growth bucket so that we can take some of our money and have it grow. But at the same time, we want to make sure that we have that income bucket that's going to take care of our basic needs.
Well, if you would like to get your financially focused written retirement income plan, pick up the phone, give a call, 386-755-9018, 386-755-9018, 755-9018. And John, all of these factors, all of these tips and unfortunate things that people fall into, oversights and pitfalls, all of these just reasons why quitting is for winners, but retirement is not for wimps.
That's right, Peter, the new book. I really like that book. I love the title. You and I both came up with that. And it's not. I was talking to a prospect the other day and I told him, I said, getting old isn't easy. I mean, it happens, but the problem is we're still faced with so many decisions that are going to affect the rest of our retirement, the rest of our lives, that we have to be careful on how we take Social Security, how we sign up for Medicare, how we sign up for, for our taxes, and how much money we're putting aside for taxes, and how we're taking our money out of our income so that we get tax diversification and tax, optimization. Because, it's not easy. It's not for wimps. This is different, very difficult. It's a very difficult time. And at a time when we are struggling with a lot of other things that we're dealing with, our arthritis and all the other problems we have, and going back to the doctor every 6 months. And then, it's just, there's a lot going on. The book will help you get there. And we're here. We've been through it. We've done it. I've made the mistakes. And that's the reason that I wanted to write the book, is I want to try to educate everybody on what we did wrong and what you can do right.
Well, again, the benefit of experience, ladies and gentlemen, the perspective of an experienced, qualified professional, guidance for your personalized planning journey. Pick up the phone, give John Kuykendall, GulfCoast Financial Services, a call for that financially focused written retirement income plan. 386-755-9018, 386-755-9018. John, always appreciate the time and perspective. Appreciate you keeping us financially
like,
focused.
Subscribe,
Thank you, Peter.
share,
Great to be here.
and
See
tune
you
in
next
for
week.
more financial focus by visiting GulfCoastFinancial.net. The information presented on this program is provided for informational purposes only, without warranty of accuracy, completeness, or suitability for a particular purpose. This program is not intended to be and does not constitute financial, investment, legal, or tax advice. This information is general in nature and not specific enough to be construed as advice. You should not make any decision based on the information presented on this program without independent consultation with an appropriately licensed professional or competent advisor. Investment in securities or the market involves a potential risk for loss of principal. Trading, therefore, may not be suitable for all listeners. Annuity guarantees are based solely on the financial strength and claims paying ability of the issuing company. Withdrawals of growth from annuities may be taxable as ordinary income in the year it is taken. Individuals should review contracts for specific details of the product's features and costs. Early withdrawals may subject the owner to penalties, fees, or taxes. John Kuykendall is registered with and securities are offered through Kovac Securities Inc., member FINRA SIPC, found online at www.kovacsecurities.com. Advisory services are offered through GulfCoast Financial Services Inc., a registered investment advisor in Florida. GulfCoast Financial Services Inc. is not affiliated with Kovac Securities Inc. or Kovac Advisors Inc. Past performance is not indicative of future results. All investing involves risk. Investment decisions should be based on your own goals, time horizon, and tolerance for risk. Due to various factors including changing market conditions and/or applicable laws, the content may no longer be reflective of current opinions or positions. GulfCoast Financial Services Inc. has been named as Best of the Best since 2015 in the category of Best Financial Advisor in the Lake City, Florida area. The award was based on receiving the most votes in this category from a survey offered and tabulated by the Lake City Reporter. No direct or indirect compensation was provided to the Lake City Reporter and/or any raters, and the award is not contingent on future direct or indirect compensation offered to the newspaper and/or raters. Portfolio performance is not a criterion, and voting is open to any readers of the newspaper.